Hi guys, welcome again to the channel. My name is Hugo, I'm from Portugal, and this is Xpeng G6 Diaries. So today we will start a series of videos to show all the configurations and settings and everything that the infotainment system of the Xpeng G6 can provide to us. So I will separate these into several videos so that we can go in detail and we don't have a 2-hour video in front of us. So this one will be the biggest one because it's all about the settings and configurations of the car and also how to use the central screen of the car. But then I will do separate videos that you can follow and see on a playlist that I will create only for the infotainment videos. Okay, so let's jump on it immediately and let's see what this car has to provide to us in terms of infotainment. This is our main screen. As you can see, it is currently showing the virtual reality. It's how Xpeng calls it. So it gives just an image of the car, and we can just show what the car looks like and even have feedback, visual feedback of what's happening. So if I open my door, it will show on the screen that I have opened the door. If I close it, it will show on the screen all other doors are the same. And of course, if I open the trunk, it will show that I'm opening the trunk, and the same thing if I open the charging port. Also, I can close and open the doors. So let's close everything here. And so this gives a visual information of what's happening. It's also, if we do here turn signal, it will show the turn signal on the car, etc. Okay, so this gives this information when we are in park mode, and when we are driving, it will show the surroundings, so all the cars, pedestrians, bicycles, motorcycles. It will give all that information in this central screen on this virtual reality mode that Xpeng has. So this is the main screen. As you can see, it also gives information on the range and the recent consumption. It has here the account information. We will talk about this later. And we have then a set of information here that it's the notifications. Here we have, so notifications. We have also what is connected as USB. We can turn on and off the passenger airbag, and we can connect and see the Bluetooth status, Wi-Fi information, again range and the percentage, and then the time of the day over there. Okay, also it's important to refer that we have also a couple of other things. We can swipe down to have a bunch of shortcuts here to perform some actions on the car. So it's we cannot customize this. So it's what is it's here to use. And also we have this bottom bar, and in this case we can customize the bottom bar, and to do that we just need to hold and press the buttons, and then we can remove, for instance, let's say this defog setting, and then we can organize the items as we wish. And then we have plenty of things here that we can use. So apps, we can have settings here for window and door. We have seats, AC, and some other things. So let's put back the rear defogger over there. So we just need to put it there, and that's it. So you can customize how you want this bottom bar. It's important to refer that there are some applications that occupy the full screen, like Android Auto, wired casts, and if you swipe up, it will show the bottom bar again so that you can perform some actions. So this is the main screen. Now let's see how we can navigate and using gestures to go through this screen. So we are currently in a full screen mode. Okay, so all the apps that we open will occupy the full screen. So for navigation, the settings of the car, all the app drawer, 360 view. So everything will be using the full screen. Let's go back to the original one. And here, for instance, in the map, we can do one thing, that it's separate the screen in two. So we can split the screen. Currently, we have small screen on the left side and big screen on the right side. Here on the right side, so on the big part of the screen, we can exchange sides. So we can just use 3 fingers and just swipe, and it will change the sides. Also, if we are in an app, we can use the 3 fingers to swipe down, and it will close. And also the same thing, we can go back like this. Okay, and here we can do back also if we want. So if we are in some other area, we can do that also. So this is the app drawer. These are the apps that are installed in the car that we can use. I have already some that were installed already from the App Store. And basically what we have here is the settings, so all the configurations related to the car. And I will spend a lot of time in this part here for this movie. Then we have map. I will do a second video for only the navigation, including the Android Auto and CarPlay. Well, I will do Android Auto because I have an Android phone, but I will do a separate video for that. Real-time VR assist, we have talked about that already in the beginning of this video. Then I will do also a separate video for the air conditioning system and all the features, the heating, the seats, the ventilation, front and back. So it will be a full video on that. Then we have music, Bluetooth, and radio that are basically the same. I would say that we would only need music, because as soon as you enter on the music app, you can then access Spotify, Bluetooth, radio, TuneIn Radio, and Amazon Music. So all those other apps that are in the app drawer can be accessed immediately here. Okay, so let's go back here. Then we have phone, it's phone and contacts. Then we have 2 apps that are dedicated to relaxation, mindfulness. It will recline the seats so that you can rest. I can make a different video only for those. Then we have X Combo, and X Combo, it's a very nice feature that we have in the Xpeng, and basically these are just configurations that you can create based on triggers and then actions. So you can set a bunch of triggers that will initiate then a couple of actions in the car. So as you can see, there are already some here that are recommended, but then there is mine, that these are the ones that I already used. That it is very nice because so you can create whatever you want here, and you can also share your combos, your X combos, with other users. So there are a bunch of people developing nice things to run in the car, and you can use them as well. Okay, then you have 360 cameras. So this is basically how the car sees using the cameras outside. You have the front and rear side cameras, and then you can generate an over-the-top view, a bird's eye view of the car, and you can also change to 3D and then just run over the cameras around the car to see them. Okay, so then we have the Sentry, all the recordings made with the Sentry that I will explain later on will be stored here, and then you can download them and view them here. Also, we have the wired casting. I made a full video on these, and you can access it here on top of this video. You can check that one. So this is how to connect an external source to the car to see videos, other type of content in the screen. Then you have the App Store, where you can download some more apps, user manual, then Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. So this car has Apple CarPlay, Android Auto wireless, also wired. It's very nice. It's a good implementation, at least on Android Auto. And then we have the browser to navigate in the internet. And then we have a couple of multimedia apps that we will not show here. It doesn't make sense. Okay, let's do the settings. So this is the initial screen for the settings, and we are in the vehicle part. And on this section, we will have some configuration for the car itself. As you can see, we start with the vehicle health and the tire pressure. Then we have energy curve and some statistics of the last 2.5 kilometers, 20, 100, and since start. So since start is just the amount of kilometers that you have made since you entered the car and start the trip, and it will reset every time you do that. I think that we need two other statistics here for the energy curve that are related to the trips that we can reset here. It should have also here trip A and trip B, so that we could see, for instance, a full trip that has a stop for lunch, for instance. If we do that, we will lose all the information because it's not the last 100, it's not the since start, it will be trip A or trip B. So it's missing that info, and Xpeng should solve this. Then we have odometer information, very simple, vehicle modes. So basically, if you want to enter in maintenance mode to clean the wipers or change them, you can do that for the front and rear. And then if the car needs to be towed, you need to enter in rescue mode also. Then let's go for windows and doors. And here you can open charging trunk doors, as we did on the virtual reality screen. And also we can enter here in the window adjustment, and we have driver side and passenger side. It's the same, and you can just open your window to state here, very easy. And then you can also, for instance, open all the windows, ventilate it. This is very useful when it is very hot, so it will open all the windows, just a small extent, so that the car can receive some air from outside. And then you can close all, of course. So it's very simple, but it's nice. Then you have unlocking feedback of the car. So every time you lock and unlock, how the car will react. So I have now for the unlocking only flashing lights, but it could also play the warn or a chord, and it's the same for the locking feedback. There is this option here, the pop out handles on unlock. This basically is how the car will show the handles for opening the doors. If it is disabled as it is now, the handles will keep inside the car, and you need to open them as like a Tesla, for instance. You need to push one side and then grab on the other side. If you activate these, then the handles will pop out, and you can then easily open the car. Okay, then you have also a possibility to lock the car, automatic lock the car when you set the car to park mode, to define a shortcut for the parking gear. Then you have baby in car mode. So if you have a baby in the car, you can also disable the windows and the doors, so that the child cannot open them. And then we have also welcoming settings, so how the car will react on the driver and the passenger. So usually when we open the door, the seats will go down so that it's easier for entry and exit of the car, and then they will adjust to the settings that are defined on the account and habits. Okay, and then there are also some sound effects every time that you enter in the car, that it's just some like universe, interstellar, skyline, and ignition. Okay, So it's just a small sound that plays whenever you enter in the car. Then you have also for the windows, you can close the windows automatically after the vehicle is locked. So as soon as you press lock, the windows will be closed. So if you forget to close one window, it will be closed automatically. And also close the windows if you are traveling in high speeds, and the sensitivity for that setting. And also very important, if you are storing or putting the car in a garage that it's very low ceiling, for instance, you can define a small opening angle of the opening of the trunk, so that you don't break the trunk itself. Okay, as I am outside, it can be at 100%. Now let's go for the lights. So on the lights, we start with headlights, and here we can define the height of the headlights, so from low to high. Then you can also define that it's on auto or manually adjust the headlights. And also you have here for the fog lights to activate or deactivate, and I also have here a shortcut for that. Then you have also intelligent height bin. I'm not using it because I think it's not good enough still on the Xpeng. It works, but sometimes it takes some time to turn on, and sometimes it takes some time to turn off. That it's very bad for the other drivers. So I think this is something that needs to be fixed still on the Xpeng. But it's there, it works, but well, I prefer to use it manually for me. Then you have accompany me home, so it's the time that the lights stay on when you lock the car, it's 15 seconds, and then you have reading lights also. Then of course you have the ambient light, so this car has ambient light in the front of the vehicle and on the sides, but on the front seats only. You can turn on, off, define the brightness. Then you can also has it on fixed, smooth breathing, so it will seems like it is breathing, and it can follow speed and define that the lights will follow the music, the rhythm of the music that it's playing. Also you can have a monotone or dual tone. If it is dual tone, it will change between those two. Okay, so basically this is the settings for the ambient lights. Let's go for the next one, that is the seat settings. And here you can adjust the passenger and the driver seat in several ways, and then record different habits for those settings. So you can have one for driving normally, you can have one, for instance, to be more relaxed. If you are in sport mode and you want to be more in a different position to handle the car, you can define a different one. So it's up to you. I only have one for me, and then you can adjust going here, and then you have these three sliders for the seat position, so height, angle, and position itself. And then you have for the seat cushion, that it's very good for the legs. You can define the angle. And then finally you have also the lumbar support, that you have two settings possible for this, and it can be also adjusted using the wheel settings here with the scroll wheel in the driver. Okay, so this is how to define, and then of course you can define also for the passenger, and this will be recorded not only on the habits but also on the account. So every time a different driver that it's allowed to be and has an account on this car arrives to the car and opens the door, the car will recognize that person and will adjust all these according to their own settings. Okay, so let's go for the drive. So this is how to define the way that we are going to drive the car. So we have three main settings, that it's eco to save energy, standard, and then sport if you want a more racing feedback for the car. And then you have also individual, that you can specify your own settings. But I don't use individual because most of the settings you can define also on these three main definitions here, because the only thing that cannot be changed on eco, standard, and sport is the power response, that it's how much power it's on the accelerator pedal. So if you are Eco is comfort, standard is standard, and sport is sport, but all the others can be adjusted according to your needs and feels. So you can be in sport, but then have the power steering in comfort. I do prefer to drive in standard. So I have middle, let's call it middle power in the accelerator. Then I have the power steering in comfort. I feel it very nice because when you are driving slowly, it will be very light, the wheel. But when you increase the speed, it will get harder, and the feeling will be much a sporty feel for the steering wheel. Then you can define also how to feel the brake pedal, and then finally the regeneration. So you can set it to low, medium, and high. I prefer to use X pedal, that it's basically the implementation of one pedal drive for Xpeng. Currently in this version, it's still not one pedal drive fully because it cannot stop completely. You need still to use the brake pedal, but I believe that in the next version, it will have this possibility to stop completely the car with the X pedal setting. Okay, then you can reset all these settings here. Also, you have the steering wheel shortcut. So there is one button in the steering wheel that you can define for an action. These are the possible actions. I prefer to use for the parking assist, mainly because I usually use Android Auto, that fully fills the screen. And then if I'm reaching a place that I want to park, instead of getting out of Android Auto and setting the park, I will just press the button and it will start immediately. And then we have the option to define the side mirrors. So there are some options: tilt down the left hand side mirror when you are reversing, also to fold when you park. They are automatically fold, and then you can also adjust them using the wheels and buttons on the steering wheel to adjust the side mirrors. And this is also stored in your account, so that every time you enter, it will be as you like. Then you have also some other options here to auto hold. This is basically if you put your pedal on the brake, if you put your foot on the brake pedal, it will stop the car, and then if you push a little bit, it will start the auto hold. Okay, so it's not starting every time, it's only when you push it, it will start the auto hold. Then you have the comfortable braking, so it's when the electronic stability system is on, it will control the braking force for you. Hill descent control, so if you are going downhill, it will control automatically the speed of the car. And then you can turn on and off the electronic stability system and the parking brake, the electronic parking brake. So it's here. And then you can also turn on and off the passenger airbag. Okay. Now, real-time VR assist, it's just two settings here. One is to give you some alerts of risk of collision, okay? And the second one is, for instance, when you are in a traffic jam or stopped in lights and red light, if the car in front of you starts moving because the signal became green, the car will alert you visually and also with a sound that you can start moving also. Okay, so it's a nice feature here. Then we have driver assistance. I will not touch this on this movie. I will do a separate movie for these settings. But basically, we have active safety, we have forward safety, we have lateral safety, we have rear safety, and then we have other assistants that we can turn on and off and define sensibilities. Then we have driving, so self-driving functionalities, and then also self-parking functionalities that we can activate here on the driver assistance. So again, I will do a separate movie only for this option. Then we have voice assistant. So it's the assistant of Xpeng that it's present here to help you to turn on, to open doors, to set up, to play music, whatever you want. So you can turn on and off. You can define a way to call it. In this case is with that sentence. We will try it in a few seconds. And then you have also, if you turn that off, you can also use only the button that it's on the steering wheel to activate the assistant. Then you have also the instant response, that it will be very short response time. But for me, that I am not a native English speaker, sometimes I need to process what I want to ask, and with this option turned on, it will be very fast, and usually she will not recognize the commands. Then the language itself, it's English. There is no Portuguese version. The only languages that are currently available is English, German, Cantonese, Thai, and French. But they will be releasing more soon. Then we have the continued conversation option that you can define as off, shorter or longer. So basically, this is the time that the assistant will stay there waiting for more commands from you. And then there is this implementation that I think it's very nice, that is the active zones. And this is basically, there are 4 zones in the car that the assistant will recognize who is giving orders or asking for something. So if someone asks for the assistant and are in one of these active zones, the assistant will recognize the place from where the person is calling or asking, and will execute those actions only for that person. For instance, opening a window. So if I ask to open windows, it will open only the driver window, and the assistant will tell exactly that it's the driver window that it's being opened. Let's try it out. Hey, Xpeng.
Hello.
Open my window.
Driver's window is opening.
So as you can see, she said driver's window is opening. So she identified that I'm currently on the driver seat, and she opened only my window. So if any other passenger asks for that, she will recognize from where he is and will open it for that only person. Then we have this option that it's to show in text what I have asked, as you saw. Then let's go for sounds. Sounds, this is how to control the multimedia columns here for the stereo system. So we have media, so we have modes, equalizers, 2 equalizers that you can specify. And then you have also spatial sound effects. And then you can also even define from where the sound is coming from. So Xpeng calls this the X Opera sound system. It is not fully operational yet, at my opinion, because most of these options don't do much. So if you change these, it will not be noticeable. But one of the implementations that I love on the speakers is this driver speaker. So Xpeng included some columns here on the headrests, and with these we can define from where the type of sounds are coming and being played. So there are 3 modes. Share mode, that is basically everything is played on the car itself, so all the columns, so music, navigation, calls, whatever. Then you have driving mode. This means that media is being played in the car columns, and then navigation and also alerts and this type of information calls are only on the driver's speaker. Okay, so on the headrest. And also then you have the private mode, that everything is only on the headrest. This is useful, for instance, if some passenger is having a call and you want to continue to listen to music, you can put, for instance, in private mode. Also, there is a nice thing here, that is the intelligent switch. So usually I have it on shared, but then I have this activated. That means that every time I have a passenger in my car, it will switch automatically to driving mode, so that a passenger can listen to the music while I receive the navigation, calls, and alerts only for me. Then you have this this setting here, the low speed sound. This is a mandatory due to regulations on the European Union, and this is related to every time that you are driving very slowly, you will listen to a sound, because as electric cars are very quiet, so someone decided that we need to hear something so that we don't fall asleep. Then we have the volume adjustments for all the settings. I have also here a shortcut for that. And then we have also the possibility to change the media sound or current sound on the wheel, the scroll wheel on the wheel driver button. So basically, what this means is that if it is on media sound, it will only affect when you scroll down or up, it will only affect the media. If you have on the current sound position here, it will affect whatever sound is being played. So if you are listening to music, but then the navigation starts giving some indication, if you scroll up and down, it will the action will be performed on the navigation sounds. If it is on the call, it will be performed in the call. So it depends on this setting here. Then you can mute front row, mute rear row, adjust the volume based on the speed and the sensibility of that. And then the safety prompt sounds you can activate or deactivate and include these alerts. And you have also the intelligent control of the sound, so you can lower volume during navigation. I have it down disabled because as I use the driver sound column on the headrest, I don't need to reduce the media volume to hear navigation. I hear it on the columns here on my headrest. And then you can turn down the volume when opening the door. This is a nice feature. So if you are playing music and you open the driver's door, the volume will go down so that you don't disturb the people outside the car. And also you can lower volume during reverse parking. So if you are doing this reverse, it will lower the volume if you want. So now let's go for charging and discharging. So this is the settings for charging. You can define here what is the limit of the charging. As I have an LFP, because this is a single range, it's always at 100%. But if you, for instance, define 74, and then you have the battery health protection, this means that the car knows that this is an LFP battery. So after this charging session that I am doing, it will then resume to the optimal settings. Then you have also appointment settings. So if you have, or better, if you don't have an intelligent charger at home, that you can define, for instance, charging in off-peak hours for the electricity, you can define that in here. As I have one, I don't need to use this here. And also you can also schedule a battery preheating for low temperatures. So for instance, if you live in a cold place and you leave the home at 8 o'clock, you can define that the car will start at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m. And if there is a low temperature, it will preheat the battery so that the consumption is better in that way. Also, you can then define the range display. So if it is the WLTP or dynamic, I prefer WLTP because dynamic in this car, it's very aggressive. So I don't know which data or the amount of kilometers that are used to define the dynamic, but I feel that it's very aggressive. So if you go for a short trip downhill, it will say that you have a bunch of kilometers available because the consumption will be very low. But if you go uphill and you consume much more energy, it will say that you only have 200 kilometers. So it will go up and down very fast, and I don't like that. So it will generate some anxiety on the range, and it doesn't need to be like that. So I think if Xpeng changes these to, for instance, 100 kilometers history of the driver, it will be better to the definition of the dynamic range of the car. Here you can activate or deactivate the battery percentage display. Then you can also precondition the battery. So if you are using the navigation system and you define a point in the middle of your trip to charge the car, it will precondition the battery. But also, if you are just navigating and you know that you want to stop to charge the car, you can manually also precondition the battery using this button. Then there are also the possibility to change here for the slow charging. You can define here the power that it's acceptable by the car. Then we have intelligent imaging. So this is how the car will handle the cameras. So the first one is transparent chassis. It's how we will see the car. It will be transparent so that we can see the floor of the car, the bottom in the road. Also 3D transparent body for the surrounding environment. We can set the 360 camera to auto turn off if we go over 30 kilometers per hour or after 5 seconds without any touch on the cameras. We can also activate or deactivate the side rear image when turning. So every time we turn, we make a turn signal, it will pop up camera on that side so that we can see if there are cars coming or something like that. And we can also activate the panoramic image on narrow roads, and this is a nice feature. So if you are traveling below 15 kilometers per hour and you enter in a very narrow street, it will automatically activate the panoramic view so that you can see if there is any danger for the car. Then you can select some modes for the images, and then you can also activate sentry mode. Currently, sentry mode needs to be activated every time that you want it to be activated. So manually, it will not stay on forever. But with the new version and using X combos, I think it will be possible to do that. Now let's go for display. Here it's just very generic settings for this display and also for the dashboard. So brightness, you can define auto or day mode or night mode or automatically changed. The type of the size of the font, small, medium, and large. And also you can activate the screen cleaning. It will put the screen full black, and then you can clean it, and then you just press this button for 4 seconds and it will start again. And standby mode, you will disconnect the screens and also the headlights, and it will be all off. Then we have device connection, and here we can see which devices are connected. Bluetooth, allow detection, so if some devices can detect this Bluetooth. We have also WLAN, so wireless LAN if it is available. So it's currently connected to my cell phone. Then we have also in-vehicle hotspot, so you can turn hotspot on the car to provide internet to other users. And then finally, we have general. So this is the version of the software currently. We can check updates. We can define some settings. So basically, this is automatically updating at 3 o'clock in the morning, for instance. Storage space, language and time, safety and privacy, and factory reset the car. So guys, I think we have covered everything on this first video regarding the generic configurations of the car and also how to use the central screen. As I said before, we are going to do several other videos on detailing some other configurations and some other apps. And that's it. So thank you very much for being here. If you like this content, don't forget to leave the like. You know that this helps. And of course, subscribe and hit that bell icon so that you are notified for more videos. And so every time that I will launch a new one on this infotainment, you are then notified for it. So again, thank you very much for being here with me, and see you in the next video. Bye-bye.